Okay, in today's video I'm looking at the track Hip Hug Her by Booker T and the MGs, and regular viewers will know that I'm a big fan of Steve Cropper, the Booker T and the MGs guitar player. And this track is from 1967 from an album of the same name. It's quite a well-known track. It's obviously not as well-known as something like Green Onions, but it's amongst Booker T and the MGs' most famous tracks. I think it's a really great piece of music and contains lots of great Cropper guitar playing. On the original, the main theme, the main melody is played by Booker T. Jones on the Hammond organ. So what I've done, just to make things a bit more guitar-centric, is come up with a little arrangement of my own. I've transferred a lot of that organ stuff onto the guitar, and I've kind of mixed that in with some of the Steve Cropper parts. So let me play that through for you now, and then I'll break down what's going on. Okay, let's get down to business then. We're in the key of B flat, and at first this tune feels a little bit like a kind of 12-bar blues, but it's not actually a 12-bar blues. The form, the structure is a bit more complex than that, though it has got some bluesy licks in it, and it's largely based on the 1, 4 and 5 chords in the key of B flat. But perhaps just to get started and just to get yourselves orientated on the fretboard in what is perhaps a less familiar key to many guitar players, you might like to think about your 6th position B flat bar chords and B flat minor pentatonic scales. That's a good way to kind of get your bearings with this one, I think. So at the 6th fret here on the low E string, that's our B flat root note, and you can play your B flat major bar chord like that. Perhaps you might want to lift up your little finger, and then you've got a B flat 7 chord right across from that. You've got the 4 chord E flat major, E flat 7, and then around those chords you've got the B flat minor pentatonic scale, and I'm using that scale with a few additional notes to play the melody here, and also most of the solo is based on that kind of a sound as well. And the tune kicks off with this little kind of bluesy pentatonic melody coming right out of that pattern 1 box 1 B flat minor pentatonic scale. We're starting at the top, the 6th fret on the top string, coming down the scale, so 6th fret over to the 9th fret on the B. Then we've got this is frets 8 and 9 on the G. It could be a little slide up and down, or I'm doing a hammer on and a pull off. Coming down to this D flat. And then we've got this lovely double stop bend. They've got lots of these double stop bends in this tune. So what I'm doing is just bending at the 8th fret on the B and the G strings, just kind of pushing both of those strings sharp. I think I can hear the bend kind of going up and then down and then up again. So you can play around with that a little bit. And you've got options with how you bend this. I'm using my 2nd and 3rd fingers and pushing up towards the ceiling. That's what seems to give me the most control. You could kind of pull down. You could try doing it with just the 1 finger, the 3rd finger flattened down and kind of pulling that down. You could do it with the 3rd and 4th finger. So just go with what feels the most comfortable there. So that's our little introduction. And then we're into the band comes in, and we establish this great groove, and it's kind of a sum of all of the different parts here. We've got the drums, the bass, the organ, and the guitar, all kind of contributing to this great groove. The actual guitar part is quite simple. We've just got this. Very simple. Doesn't really say very much out of context. You kind of got to have the bass and drums in there for that to really mean anything. But what we've got in the guitar part is a little hammer on from 1 to 3 on the low E string, and then just playing this B flat note 3 times. This time I'm playing the B flat at the 1st fret on the 5th string. And the important thing here is going to be the timing. That's where the groove comes from. And if I count this out for you, you've got 2, 3, 4, 1, and 4. So it might be worth just breaking down the timing here. I mean, if you're lucky, you might just be able to listen to that and feel it. That's often the best way to go with rhythmic stuff. But if you're struggling, you might just want to break it down, count the beats a little bit. So we're coming in on beat 2, 1, 2, with this little B flat note. So it's 1, 2. The timing there is 2 E and a 3. So we've got some like a little 16th note syncopation in there. 2 E and a 3. So it's 1, 2. And I'm playing that with a down, up, down of the pick. It's got that quick 16th note in there, so make sure that is really quick. As soon as you've played that, you're coming down with the pick again on beat 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and just make sure you're staying loose there. You can be quite precise with the pick, or sometimes I'm playing it a bit more loosely as well, just a bit more movement with my picking hand and maybe muting some of the other strings. And then the other part of this riff is this hammer on from 1 to 3 on the low E string. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And the timing on that, it's coming in on the and of 4, I think. So it's 2, 3, 4. And again, 16th notes there, so it's quite a quick hammer on. 2, 3, 4. So very simple, but quite hard to get that feeling right and to really get it grooving. So make sure you understand the rhythm there, count it out if necessary, and I think this makes for a really good little rhythm exercise, sort of working on those funky syncopations. You might want to get the metronome out and just really make sure you're nailing the rhythm of that part. So what happens on the original recording is Cropper continues that rhythm part underneath the melody played on the organ, but what I've decided to do is to play that melody on the guitar, and this is how I decided to do it. We've got 1, 2, 3. That's the first part of the melody. I think Booker T plays it up an octave, but it seemed to sit better on the guitar in a lower octave. The basic melody is this. thickening that up a little bit with some double stops, but it's starting it out in this 6th position area. So a little bluesy bend I've thrown in there. Just coming down on the 4th string. And what I decided to do just in the second half of that melody is just to double things up here. I think this is what I'm hearing on the Hammond organ. So we've got some 4ths, just double stops on the G and D strings, coming over to 6 and 5 on the A and the D, and then got this kind of move here. So 3rd fret on the D and A strings and just slamming down the 3rd finger. Next we're moving to the 4 chord, which is E flat, and I'm playing this. Very similar melody. Essentially I'm just taking the same idea up to the 11th position, around the 11th fret. It starts off the same way. It comes down on the D string, but then instead of playing 4ths, I'm actually playing 3rds. So double stops on the 3rd and 4th strings. We've got 2 finger shapes involved here. We've got this one here, it's 11 on the D and 10 on the G. The notes are on adjacent frets, and you've got this finger shape as well. So here it's 10 on the D and 8 on the G. There's actually a fret in between the 2 notes in that shape. So moving between those 2 different finger shapes, really just following the melody. It's kind of following the scale. So that's our 4 chord melody, and the gap at the end of that phrase again, you can play a little bit of the rhythm guitar riff. It's the same as the main riff, just moved up to correspond to that E flat root note of the 4 chord. Then we're back to the 1 chord. And then things change a little bit. We've got this. So 7 and 8 on the G. Double stop. This is the same as the introduction. So the 8th fret, bending, coming to this D flat. Then we got this. So another bend. Some pentatonic notes here, the D flat, and perhaps there's just a hint at this B flat here. You haven't got much time to play that, so it could just be jumping up to another one of these double stop bends, this time at the 13th fret, same idea. And then there's a little pause, and then we start going round again. We're back to the riff, and there's a little re-intro. Next we've got a little guitar solo, and I didn't play this note for note like on the record. I really just did my own thing. It's quite straightforward really. It's just B flat minor pentatonic for the most part. So I started off with some double stop ideas, which I think is what Cropper does on the original recording. So 10 on the G and 9 on the B. You can think about that as being your B flat minor pentatonic. You're kind of going up from the position 1 into the next pattern of the scale. I think I played something like that, so the double stop and then a little answering phrase. Just improvised some nice pentatonic phrases there. Then some more double stops. I think I did this. So starting off on the B and G, then back to our our bend here at the 8th fret. Perhaps a pre-bend is nice, so you're bending the strings up and then striking the strings. Then I played this. So this was kind of a fixed lick. I wanted to play this lick at that point in the solo. The rest of it was a bit looser, kind of an improvised solo. But this lick kind of hits the chord changes at the end of the solo, where it goes to the 5 and then to the 4 chord. So it starts off just pentatonic. It's all just B flat minor pentatonic. Then I do this. So it's 11 on the B, and then onto the top string, 9, 11, 12, 13, a nice kind of bluesy run of notes. And then back to the home position. And then we return to the intro lick that's played the same as before. Then we're into the next verse, if you like. We return to the main theme in B flat. I'm playing that exactly the same as before. I think we play that twice, and then at the end of the tune, rather than going to the 4 chord, it actually goes straight to this bit. Goes to that section before we hit the outro. And for the outro, I was kind of just vamping on the 1 chord, the B flat 7 chord. Something like that, so you could play the B flat 7 bar chord, maybe just kind of the kind of middle string grouping of that, so strings 2, 3 and 4, that shape, and maybe hitting this E flat triad as well. Just playing the rhythm part, and sometimes just throwing in some little single notes as well, just some B flat minor pentatonic stuff. You can just kind of improvise around those kind of ideas for the outro to the song. The gear I'm using today then, my Telecaster, this is a 52 reissue Telecaster from I think 93, 94, something like that. Plugged into my Fender Princeton, and I'm just using one pedal for a little bit of overdrive, and that is my J Rocket Archer overdrive. It's kind of my go-to overdrive when I'm using single coil pickups and the Princeton amp. It doesn't work in every kind of context, but with this guitar and this amp, I think it sounds good. And I've got a where's the gain set on that pedal? The gain set at about 1 o'clock, so a kind of moderate amount of overdrive, but it's quite touch sensitive, so it sounds clean when you're playing softly, and then when you dig in, you can hear a little bit more overdrive. So let me just give you some sounds here. To begin with, this is just the Telecaster going straight into the Princeton with no overdrive, so switching on the overdrive. that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you would like tab and backing track, of course those things are going to be up on the Patreon page, so check that out if you're interested. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.